Hello everyone, Eli here. In this video we're going to be diving right back into my collection where we left off before. We're listening to, what are we listening to? Exodus, Impact is Imminent. I haven't heard this album in a long time, and I really couldn't remember a whole lot about it. I remember thinking it was okay, thought I'd revisit it. The one thing that I kind of was reminded of is that Gary Holt is a fucking riff master, man. I mean, I'm not too stoked on a lot of Exodus's stuff, but that guy can write riffs. You know, he definitely has his own style. Anyways, we'll get started with the music. I think I might have said last week or whatever, I have some pretty cool end of year videos to do. Some kind of cool ideas that I've just never done before, so I need to actually start working on those. Whenever I have a project that I'm excited about, it seems kind of daunting, and then it makes me not want to do it. But anyways, I'm pretty excited for that, and you guys will see what I mean when I actually do it. But anyways, we'll get started on my video with the music here, more or less where we left off last time, probably not exactly. So we're starting off with Dead Can Dance, A Passage in Time, 4AD Records. A couple facts about this album. It's a compilation, but first fun fact is this was the first Dead Can Dance release to be available in the US, so that's kind of cool. This is a very special album for me in a lot of ways also, because this is what got me into Dead Can Dance. This compilation is perfect. Something about it, man. Something about the track listing, and then the way that they did it, the way that they compiled this just totally hooked me. And I swear I would not mix up the track listing on here at all, even if it was my choice. Someone knew what they were doing, basically, and it's perfect. If you're looking into getting into Dead Can Dance, or if you've never heard them, I mean, honestly, I can't think of a better place to start than this compilation right here. I think you can find it pretty fucking cheap, probably just a couple bucks. So if you're a big metal fan and you're looking for something to take a break from the heavy stuff, give it a shot. Oh, sorry, it's water already. Moving on, next. This is one that I actually got somewhat recently. I think I only picked this up earlier this year, and I was super stoked to find it because I've been wanting this for a long time. This is actually their debut EP with Garden of the Arcane Delights in all its glory there. Very fucking cool. Obviously, this is a repress from, I think, just from this year. Or, no, 2016. But anyways, this also has, as you can see on there, the John Peel sessions. So that's what you get. You get the EP itself, which is completely magical. Such a strong start. Honestly, they would never really go to sound much like this. Even on their debut album, they had a bit of a different sound. This EP, they just sound. It's almost like listening to a different band entirely. So you have you have the EP, and then you have the John Peel sessions, which is longer than the EP. Most of the songs on the EP, and then some others. I usually don't listen to the Peel sessions part. I love the EP, so I can't really talk too much about that. But anyways, this is some of my favorite Dead Can Dance material by far. It's just, from the first time I heard it, it just kind of had me mesmerized. That's kind of how Dead Can Dance can be. That's the effect they can have on people. Me anyways, I can't speak for everyone. Next we have Toward the Within. This is a live album, and an amazing live album it is. This is probably one of the best live albums you can hear of any genre or any band. It's so fucking amazing. Dead Can Dance, when they play live, they are known to play a song, but they'll play the song not the way that it was on the album. They'll totally change their own songs. It's fucking crazy. I don't know if they do any of that like improvise, or if they have that planned, but it's totally crazy when you hear them starting to play a song that you know, and then it just kind of breaks off into something that's not part of the song. It's confusing, but it's also really fucking awesome at the same time. So I mean, brilliant live band. I don't know how much, to be honest, how much they played live or how much they toured. I know they did a lot of both, but I'm not sure to what extent. Were they like Metallica? Was there a period where they're playing, 6 days a week on the road? I don't know. I don't think so. But yeah, I would love to see them live someday. It's like something else. You'll never hear another band like this live. Although I don't know anyone else that you could compare to them anyways, but it's hard to put into words. Doing my best. Next we have an ultimate classic here. Everyone knows this one. Everyone loves this one. It's a repress from a couple years back. Scream, Bloody Gore. Relapse repress. So it's got the cool slipcase on there. You take it off. And this one's got 2 discs. It's got the first disc is just the album the way it is, and the second disc has a bunch of stuff. It's got the original Florida sessions, and then it's got 1986 August 20th rehearsals. I usually don't honestly care that much for bonus material, but it's cool, There's got to be people out there that love it, and so good for them. Now we have my favorite Death album. I do love Scream Bloody Gore a lot, but this one has always been my favorite. Leprosy, their second album, arguably their best. This one is also 2 discs. The second disc is Leprosy Rehearsals from September 23rd, 87. Don't need to go in a whole lot of detail. Love Death. There's nothing I could say that you don't already know. Next, their third album, Spiritual Healing. Always love that cover. If you know me and kind of what I'm about, you'd understand why I like that. Third album, like I said, and out of those 3 albums, this is by far my least favorite. It is a good album. I do enjoy listening to it sometimes, but I just always felt like something was missing with this one, and I haven't listened to it in so long at this point. I would probably like it more now, so I'm going to have to maybe throw this on today, but as of now, this has always been my least favorite out of the first 3 albums. In fact, I like some of the stuff they did later better than this as well, but I'm going to revisit it today and see if maybe that's changed. So this one also has 2 discs. It's got Spiritual Healing Rehearsals, doesn't say when, and then it's got a couple studio instrumentals, which totally pointless in my opinion. I always hate that kind of shit. And it's got joke and jam tracks. I don't think I've ever listened to those, to be honest. Check out that second disc. And to be honest, I don't think I've listened to the second disc on any of these. That might sound weird to you, but I haven't. And the last of the Death albums. This one, I like this one quite a lot. I think I like this more than Spiritual Healing as well. We have Human. Human is when they started to get a little proggy. But a lot of people kind of shit on this album, but I think this album, for the year it came out, I think it sounds way ahead of its time. I think it came out in 1990. I really want to look it up, but I don't want to fucking waste your guys' time. I think it's 90, it might be 91, but I think this album sounds far ahead of its time. And just like those others, it has a bonus disc, instrumental studio tracks, and some Human demos. I absolutely have no interest in hearing an instrumental studio track, but those demos, maybe. So that's it. Between this video and the last collection video I did, I have all the Death albums. So that's it for Death. Now we're moving on to another band I like a lot. Well, okay, before that, we have one band who I have one album from, and that would be Death Wish with Demon Preacher. Death Wish were a thrash band out of England in the 80s. They had, I want to say they had like 2 albums. Don't quote me on that. I also think this is their debut album. Also, don't quote me on that. I only really discovered this band a couple years ago. This album is great. This is definitely a lost classic. I think England wasn't exactly known for its thrash metal, and they had a couple good bands, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say they didn't have anything good going on, but they didn't have a lot of thrash metal bands, and this one is by far one of their best. Definitely give this one a shot if you're a thrash guy and you haven't heard Death Wish. Look it up right now. It's really fucking good. All right, and the band that I thought I was going to be talking about, Deathspell Omega. I don't have all their stuff. I don't even have probably half their stuff, but I do have some. I've always meant to get more. This album right here is very inspirational. This album, this band has inspired a lot of other bands, but I think it was with this album is where people really started to take notice, and other bands were definitely taking notice. I can tell you that much. Although it's not my favorite Deathspell album, it's really fucking good. I mean, the album they did before this was when they were starting to get weird. But on this one is when they just started to lose their fucking minds. In a good way, though. There you go. Digipack. What can I say about Deathspell Omega? French black metal. I think we all know who they are at this point. They started off in the, was it mid to late 90s, something like that. They were playing just pretty much a stock, raw black metal. Sounded a lot like the early Dark Throne. And a lot of people said that those first 2 albums aren't any good. They didn't have any of their own ideas going on. They just were sounding like Dark Throne. I think those first 2 albums were excellent. I really like them for what they are, actually. And after those 2 albums, they also did splits with like Mutilation and some other French bands. But then after that, they would start to really come into their own. They did an album before this, and I can never remember the name. It's got a long-ass name, much like this one, by the way. I've never actually tried to say that. So anyways, with the album before this that I don't have, they really started to come into their own. They started to get weird and experimental, and I think that album is their best, and it's actually one of the best black metal albums ever. I really need to get it. But anyways, like I said, this one is really where they really became their own band, and they've never looked back. So I think if you're looking for an album that really is like the quintessential Deathspell Omega album, it's definitely this one. And I only have one more, so this video is kind of short. I've been trying to make my videos slightly longer, if that makes any sense. Just from the feedback I've gotten, most people like videos longer than 10 or 15 minutes. So I've been trying to stretch them out a little bit. Just talking really slow. This is an EP that they did. This is one of their last couple releases. I gotta say, on this one, I was pretty disappointed when it came out. I'll have to throw it on now and see if my opinion has changed. But this is the Drought EP, put out by Season of the Mist. They were kind of experimenting a little bit with some different sounds. I don't know quite how to describe that, but anyways, it's a little bit of a different sound. It's still very much Deathspell Omega, but there was just something about this, and I listened to it probably 5 or 6 times at least when it came out, and for some reason, I just felt disappointed. I'll have to throw that on today, though, like I said, and the waters have calmed, and we'll see if my opinion's changed. But anyways, that is 10 albums. That's all I'm going to do today. like I said earlier, I have some really cool end of year video ideas, stuff that I've never done myself, and honestly, stuff that I've never seen other YouTubers do. So maybe I'll be doing something unique, maybe not. It doesn't matter. They're just ideas that I really like, so I really need to get started working on those. I should probably do that, you know, instead of making any other videos. I should probably work on the end of year stuff, because we're getting there, man. It's almost the end of year. But anyways, Saturday I'm actually going to go out and hit up a couple of my local shops and see if I can find anything cool. I haven't actually done that in a while, at least the local shops. We don't have the greatest record stores here by any means, but you know, it's still fun to go out in the wild and look for stuff. We have 2 shops here in town, and then across the border a little bit over into Washington, they have a record store that's way better than the ones that we have. Still not anything amazing, but yeah, it is what it is. Use what you have. So I'm going to go do that today. I hope you guys are having a good weekend. Maybe you're going out and finding some records. Let me know if you found anything cool. And we'll talk soon. Thanks for stopping by. Cheers.